All right, I'm in shift. I'm going to be in this book a lot. So if you don't have a copy of it, get the book. All right, now I'm on page, actually, I'm not even on a page, I'm in the forward. So Roman numeral 26. All right, top of the page. Most of us miscalculate what it takes to succeed at a high level. And as a result, we end up getting caught at the midpoint of achievement. All right, so I want to go to the whiteboard right behind me, and we're going to talk about the midpoint of achievement. To me, it kind of looks like there's a glare on here. So if anybody could just give me a thumbs up and make sure you guys can see this. Okay, we're good? We're good. All right, so if you looked at success like this on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being absolute total failure and 10 being massive success, it's going to be really, really hard to find any ones. It's also going to be really hard to find 10s. Now, where do most people end up? Most people end up right here in the middle, 4, 5, 6. And I'm going to share with you here in just a moment why we do that. And I'm going to share some ideas with you on how you can move to the right of the middle. Now, let me get back to the book. And I'm going to start over. Most of us miscalculate what it takes to succeed at a high level. Most of us miscalculate what it takes to get over here. And as a result, we end up getting caught in the midpoint of achievement, not going any further and not really knowing why we're not. That's frustrating. That's absolutely frustrating to be in a place where you're hitting the ceiling of achievement. You can't break through that ceiling and you don't know why you're hitting the ceiling. And more importantly, you don't know why you're not breaking through the ceiling. I mean, that's the E to P model. And what that leads to is it leads to frustration, resignation, and quitting. And I don't want anybody to be frustrated. I don't want you to be resignated to the fact that this is as good as it gets. And I absolutely don't want you quitting. So I want to share some tactical ideas with you today on how you can break through that ceiling and how you can move to the right of the middle. All right. No matter the motivation for more, no matter the desire of our dreams, the results tend to hover right around the middle of the line. Wanting it is not enough. Having a big why is not enough. Boy, that goes against what you've been taught for the last 20 years. It's going to take more to get to the right of the middle than wanting it and having a big why. Now, here's the question. Why do you suppose people get stuck there? Why do you suppose people get stuck in the middle? You can put your answer in the chat. I'd love to see how many different answers we get here. Why do you suppose people get stuck in the middle? I mean, maybe you could put your answer for yourself, right? That's fine. I wrote a couple of them on the board if you can see it. So there's a little bit of cheating going on there, but that's cool. Here's your answer. I didn't give you a whole lot of time. They get there by making decisions based on whether or not they want to do something. Yeah, comfortable. Agreed. They get there by making decisions based on whether or not they want to do something. For those of you who have children, young children, and you ask them to do something, and you have any of you ever heard, I don't want to?
Every day.
There you go. You'd think we grow out of that.
Every day from the 4-year-old.
Okay. Now, what happens when a 34-year-old says, I don't want to?
They don't.
This is okay, they don't, Emily, but this is what it's going to take to get to the right of the line. You're going to have to door knock. You're going to have to make care calls. You're going to have street conversations. I'll get back to that in a moment. You're going to have to ask for referrals. You'd think that'd be easy. It's not. If I asked every single one of you, how many of you are asking for referrals every single day, you would be shocked at how many people say, I'm not. They have this limiting belief around asking for referrals. It's not comfortable, so they don't want to do it, therefore they don't do it. But I don't want to. You have to prospect. Holy cow, I don't want to do that. You mean I'm gonna have to call for sell by owners and expireds if I want to get to the right of the middle? Is that what it's going to take? Because if that's what it's going to take, I'm out. I don't want to. You're going to have to have persistent follow-up. This is critical. Success is in the follow-up. And you'd think, oh, well, John, I'm persistent. Of course I'm persistent. Everybody is persistent until they're not. I'm talking about persistence without exception. Persistence without exception simply means you just don't stop. No is not a word that lives in your vocabulary. No simply means not yet. People don't say no. People who say no don't change their mind, but they will make a new decision based on new information. No simply means I don't have the right information. You provide them the right information by asking great questions. You give them an opportunity to make a new decision based on new information. You have to reject rejection. All right. They get there by making decisions based on whether or not they want to do something rather than whether or not they should do something. The road to average is paved with I don't want to's. In order to get to the middle of life at anything, all you have to do is what you like to do. In order to get to the middle of life at anything, all you have to do is what you like to do. But if you want to live on the right side of average at anything that really matters to you, you must move past doing only what you want to do and do some things you don't want to do. And the more you can conquer this and do what you need to do but don't like to do, the farther to the right of the middle you can live. In other words, the measure of your success in life is in direct proportion to what you're willing to do when you don't want to do it. How many of you think Olga wanted to get up at 4:30 a.m. in the morning so she could be on Survive to Thrive at 5 a.m. Anchorage time? Just an example. What are the things that are holding you back from living your life to the right of the middle? What are the things that you're not doing because you don't want to do it, because you're comfortable, you're happy? In calling real estate agents, and I speak to a whole bunch of real estate agents from all over the country, the most common thing I hear is, I'm happy, I'm comfortable. Now, what does that say to you? What it says to me is, I'm good being right here. I am really, really good being right here. And listen to me, I'm not judging anybody. If anybody who is here today, and I doubt it, because why would you be here if you're okay with that? I just probably shouldn't even be saying this. But if anybody here is saying, John, I'm good there too, then no judgment. I'm super happy for you. This is not about my goals, it's your goals. All right. But if you're settling for mediocrity, write that down, because we don't choose mediocrity, we settle for mediocrity. Nobody ever sets out in life to be mediocre. Think about the conversations you have with your kids, Sean. When you're talking to your young children, nobody sets out and has a conversation with their children that goes something like, hey, you need to set your expectations a little bit lower. You know, you're going to be a mediocre student. You're going to get mediocre grades. You're going to get a mediocre job. You're going to live in a mediocre home. You're going to have a mediocre marriage. You're going to have mediocre kids. Who sets out and has conversations with their kids like that? Okay, if you were to say, John, we're going to give you our kids for the day, and we just want you to speak to them and speak into them, pour into them in order for them to live the best life that they can live. And I told you, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to tell them the truth. I'm going to tell them that they're more than likely going to be mediocre. Now, how many of you would leave your kids with me if that was going to be my goal? Of course, none of you would. So then the follow-up question is, why are you telling yourself this? Why are you telling yourself that mediocre is okay? How do I know you are? Because I'm happy, comfortable. I'm looking at their numbers, guys. I'm right in the MLS. I'm having a conversation with them, and I know their year-over-year production is down by 50%. I know that they're not living to the right of the middle. It's right there in front of me. And I'm hearing, I'm happy and I'm comfortable, which in other words means I'm settling for mediocrity. Now, I'm settling for mediocrity because I don't want to do the things that are going to get me to the right of the middle. That's uncomfortable. I'm comfortable right here. I don't want to be uncomfortable. So this is good. This is where I choose to live. I don't choose to live to the right of the middle. This is what I choose. Now, if that's not you and you want some tactical suggestions on how you can get to the right of the middle, door knock. Block time and set a standard for how many doors you're going to knock on. The best way to create a habit is to block time and do it daily. Now, if you want to do this 1 day a week, that's okay. But it's having a standard and then living up to the standard. Standards are non-negotiable. Standard is not a goal. Standard means this is what I'm going to do. I'm absolutely committed to doing this, and I won't settle for anything less. So if my standard is I'm going to knock on 20 doors a day, 100 a week, then I go out every single day and I knock on 20 doors a day, 100 a week. And the conversation is so simple. There's homes that are selling. Matter of fact, a home in your neighborhood just sold. There are still buyers looking for homes like yours. Who do you know that's thinking of selling? That's it. Bullet point it. Simple. 20 doors a day, 100 a week. You add it up. What is that? 400 a month, 4,800 or 5,000 a year. You think if you knock on 5,000 doors, you're not going to find anybody who wants to sell their home? Of course you are. You have to. It's just math. Hair calls. This should be something that nobody has a problem with, yet I know you do. I know you do, because you're not doing it. I ask real estate agents, how many people do you have in your database? And I get, I don't know, or I don't have a database. How long have you been selling real estate? 5 years. How many past clients do you have? I don't know. Okay, if you don't know how many past clients you have and you don't know what your sphere of influence looks like, then you're obviously not communicating with them. You have to build a database. First of all, you have to put all these people in your database. Then you need to reach out and make care calls. It's Ford, family, occupation, recreation, dreams. Rachel, John Dietz, been 3 months since we talked. Just wanted to reach out, let you know I was thinking about you. How's your family? How's the kids? Last time we spoke, your husband was working at blank, 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 and you were an accountant with blank accounting firm. If I had a referral for each of you, are you guys accepting new clients? What's the best email address to send that to? Hey, by the way, I saw on social media that you guys took a cruise to the Bahamas. Did you have an amazing time? What was your favorite part? Is there anything that I can do for you today? By the way, here's a trick, or here's a secret for you guys. When you ask somebody, is there anything that I can do for you? They're going to say no. I guarantee 99% of the time they're going to say no. I want you to follow it up with, if there was something, what would it be? Same thing when you ask somebody, hey, how are you doing? What do you think you're going to hear? Okay, or good, or so-so, or something. I want you to follow it up with, how are you really doing? Go the extra mile. Let people know that you actually really do care about them. It'll make a difference. Care calls are the easiest thing you can do, and you're not doing it. Here's why. Because it's not comfortable. You're afraid to do it. Why are you afraid to do it? Because you're going to sound salesy. You think that you're going to sound like somebody who's desperate for business or somebody who is using their friends and family and past clients for business. It's not true. You are making deposits. You are adding value to their lives. You are building a relationship. And occasionally, once every 3 months, 4 times a year, you're simply asking, hey, Rachel, by the way, who do you know that's looking to sell their home in the next 6 months? You're a real estate agent. What the heck is wrong with that? Why aren't you doing it? Street conversations. All right. Is Emma on the call with us today? Let me go to gallery and see if I can see Emma. Of course, the one day I do, she's not here. Okay, so I was having a conversation with Emma yesterday, and she was talking about reading, is it Ryan Serhan's book? I think that's who it was. And he's talking about street conversations. What is a street conversation? Street conversation simply means you're having 3 conversations with strangers every day. Somebody in line at Publix, for example, or at Starbucks, or you know, just at your church or where you worship. They're just people that you don't know. And I'm a real estate agent. I specialize in blank, blank, blank. Start a conversation with them. If you're in line and you're getting something at Starbucks, just start a simple conversation that doesn't have anything to do with real estate. Just start a conversation. 3 a day, 250 days a year would be 750 conversations. If you're having 750 conversations with strangers, you're going to talk to somebody by accident that is looking to buy or sell real estate, or you're going to talk to someone who sees the value of being added to your database, and you're building your database and building relationships with these people, and you're not doing it. Why not? Because it's not comfortable, because you don't want to do it, because it's a conversation with a stranger.
You know what I do, John?
Talk to me.
So every time I'm out, like wherever I'm at, like so today I have this training for work, right? And there's people that's from everywhere that's there, and I use real estate as a context and whatever we're talking about. So one guy said he was working in Arizona. Then I'll be like, oh, so I'm in real estate, and you know, a lot of people go retire in Arizona. It's like a retirement state. I always use like real estate as context, not saying like, oh, I'm in real estate. Do you want to buy or sell? All the time when I'm talking to strangers, but I do bring it in as context just to let them know, you know?
Yeah. Good job, Daryl. 100%. Right.
That made me think about one of the things that Gary Keller says in that book about, you know, we always have business cards with us. And when you're in line, you meet somebody, they'll say, hey, do you have a card? I love what he said about he never gives a card. He always says, you know what? I don't have my card with me. Can I get your name and your address and I'll get one to
Yeah.
you? I'm like, that's genius.
Yeah. Yeah, Emily, 100% correct. Actually, I don't have business cards, haven't for years. So when I tell somebody I don't have a business card, it's the truth. I didn't forget them at home. I just don't own a business card. All right. Prospect for sale by owners, prospect for expired listings. I know you don't want to do it. All right, that's fine. It's painful, right? Making those calls is painful. I don't want to do it. All right, no worries. Not being able to pay your bills, painful. Not living the life that you told yourself you were going to live. Not giving your children the life that you promised them to give them. Painful? Yes. Which one's more painful? The greater pain will always win. Whenever there is something that you don't want to do because it's painful, you have to find the greater pain. In other words, what's greater than the pain of doing something I don't want to do that will cause me to do the things that I don't want to do? Because the greater pain will always win. All right, that's it. Take yourself off mute. Talk to me.